It's definitely recording.
Okay.
Sorry.
And hey, give us
15
minutes of what you think about this game.
Shitty art style.
And how tired are you, Anais?
Very.
Welcome, friends of all designs, to 8.5-Bit Game Club, the show where we talk about games and if we like them or not, and what's interesting about them. This week we will be talking about Princess Remedy and a world of hurt. In a world of hurt, sorry. I'm your host, Paul.
I am James.
I'm Anais.
And this episode will be a little... Well, I mean, they're already short episodes. It's going to be shorter because we lost the first recording of it.
There was this. It was so good. Anais sang.
It was
amazing.
We sung Heal the World, and we made it a better place.
For you
and for me. We got to get back in. Anyway, done. Okay, so this week we talk about Princess Remedy, as you said. So, Anais, I mean, this doesn't really work as a joke now, but that's all right. I can do the same thing. Because this
I
is...
don't even remember the joke now.
just that I knew you would hate this game.
Oh, yeah.
So, Anais, why don't you tell us about what Princess Remedy in a World of Hurt is?
It's
And why it's so good.
pixely healing game.
A pixely healing game. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We walk around and you heal people and then you unlock new areas and heal them and there's combat.
Yeah. So it's sort of an action RPG styled game in a very specific age of pixel art, which we failed to recognise exactly its reference.
We said something Undertale, and
No!
then you said NES.
I said not.
There's a
it's
whole
not-
conversation we had.
It was TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah. Turbo 16.
Anyway, so things to talk about. So, game, writing.
I enjoyed the writing.
Writing good.
Yeah, writing good.
Writing top notch.
I was-
Although I didn't read as much as you did.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the writing. There was some funny stuff about sick burns and faces being melted, and ducks that had to have the bread removed and they could eat all the bread again.
Oh,
and
that is good.
and the flower that wanted to prance so the grass was gone.
That duck should have just re-eaten bread every single time.
What if it's
Go back.
celiac?
And it could be celiac duck. Anyway, so Princess Remedy, the way you heal is by taking part in a small little shooting game where you have to just kill everything on the screen, which is slightly counterproductive to the idea of healing things.
That was sort of one of the issues I had with it.
But what if they're like bacteria?
But even still, like I think the idea is you're going in,
I'm thinking of Dr. Mario.
like you're taking down the negative things, but
What about those planes of glass?
yeah, what have the glass
they're
ever
a
done
little
to you?
weird.
But
They're just wiggling. They're not very aggressive.
It
Those
felt-
planes of glass.
it felt like a little bit of a missed opportunity to try and make a game that's about not shooting stuff and not killing stuff. But in the game, you go and do that.
So I found the control mechanism in the action games kind of weird because it's not like a shooter where you would press fire and shoot and pick your shot. It constantly is shooting, which would be more in line with something like, an auto shooting twin stick shooter, except you don't have a second stick of control.
So you can only shoot while moving in a certain direction.
Well, not while moving, but while facing in a direction. But also, it's quite responsive, so if I tap back to turn around, I'll also take a step that way. So I never felt fully in control of where I was standing and where I would then shoot.
I did get the hang of it.
I got the hang of it. I got good. Not
Good,
great.
good at the janky controls.
Yeah. I got to understand them. I still don't know if I think... I made the suggestion that if there was a button that's held your position but you could rotate just left, right, up, down in, it really wouldn't change the mechanics too much, but it would stop me from taking that step that I didn't want to step while trying to turn the direction I wanted to shoot.
I liked how with the combat that some of it was broken down into a way that wasn't just shoot everything up. Like particularly where it was like, all right, there's a bunch of you're gonna start straight away and there's gonna be a group of units, so you got to throw the flask at them really quickly. So there'd be like a bit of a strategy to take down the whole thing.
Well, I mean, and that's where the combat was most interesting, when it gave you a configuration that required you to play around. Like, quite often there will be blocks, and most blocks on the board can be destroyed. They might take a few bullets, but you use the blocks to kite enemies around, like James is doing here in the footage.
Or there was the one level where it was bad to do it because it let out a bunch of suns.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You had to avoid shooting.
Yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and because it constantly fires, sometimes it meant, like, there's one later level I remember where there's quite a lot of stuff behind a barrier. I would turn through a flask, and you can't just spam them, so I'd have to quickly turn away again to not keep shooting the barriers.
Yeah.
Because if I shot through the barriers, I would then have a terrible time.
You'd be in a world of hurt.
I'd be call back to the name of the game. Very good, very good. Okay, so combat wise had its ups and downs. Difficulty overall, it was generally pretty good.
I feel it is the occasional spike, but the spike was normally because I need to go back and find some stuff.
We all just played on normal, didn't we?
Yeah, I just played normal.
Yeah.
So Anais, you had some problems just controlling your machine.
Yeah, just clicking on things didn't work until like the 5th time, which was a bit frustrating.
Which was a bit weird. I hadn't seen that round, but not like bugs don't happen.
Did you play with a controller?
No.
Okay, I played with a controller.
Oh really? I
control
said
okay.
keyboard.
Me too.
But yeah, it made it frustrating, and I wasn't already into this because like not
But
a
you
fan
love
of the
this
art style.
It's the best.
Makes me angry.
You liked the music a little bit.
Yeah, the music was good.
I hated the music.
I was just trying to think of like pros and like the music. No, it's
the
just like
the
not,
quit button was nicely labelled.
Yeah, it's just not
It's
my
saved
type
when
of
you quit.
game. But the combat was good. I enjoyed the combat stuff.
And you get to marry someone.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See, I would have played, like, tried to finish it if I knew I could just marry everyone.
Marry anyone. Yeah, it's interesting that, you know, it really takes away the free will of everyone in this world that you can just choose someone to marry.
Who doesn't
It's
want
like,
to
I
marry the
healed
princess?
you marry me now.
I married an apathetic frog.
Yep.
I married a jealous chest.
Jealous chest is the best chest.
Married something else.
I
married lots of people.
I married the seal. I think it's the seal of tranquility. I think was the name of it.
I thought it was a genuine seal of something.
It could, I don't know.
Yeah, it was like a seal. No, I think it was a seal of quality.
Oh, something. It was,
Yeah.
it was a pun.
It was a pun,
There
yeah.
was a pun in there somewhere.
Seal of tranquility is not a joke. Seal of quality is a joke.
I actually really liked the writing. That there was I would always talk to the person after I healed them. For a little funny joke.
I suppose I got into that sort of min-max sort of feel where I was like, I just start skipping through, just like, okay, go take this out, get my number up, put everything in this room, good. I was just clearing rooms. It didn't slow me down to want to enjoy. And the thing is, the writing is probably the most enjoyable part of it.
Yeah.
For some reason, it didn't slow me down to enjoy that.
I
don't know how I would encourage that, or how that's a criticism or not.
Yeah, I really didn't mind because it's like it's one sentence or like one or two dialogues after you talk.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, let's hit the button, and like, oh, you get the little story. Like,
I wonder if I had a choice of talking or initiating action, if I would have talked and then done it, as opposed to because my action was like, let's do the healing.
so
few,
it's like,
few sentences of things. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But if I go and like talk, oh well, I better find out what's wrong with you. Okay, now I'll choose to heal you. What if you didn't have to heal everyone? What if you could choose not to heal people you thought were
that'd be an
jerks?
interesting choice.
That could be an interesting point. And that's the thing. It's like it's very straightforward. Open all the chests where you might want to.
Be careful with jealous.
And heal all the people. You up your heart, up your power, move on to the next area. Like it only takes about an hour to pretty much 100% the entire game, and it's sort of like, other than basically the one twist involving that jealous chest we keep mentioning,
that you can marry,
and you can play in higher difficulties, it makes the combat a little bit harder.
Which I felt like the balance was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I felt like that, but I feel like it is just like it's a very specific journey that you will all have the same journey. Yeah.
I was thinking about this, and then the Zen and the Art of Humanism, transhumanism, last week. So one of the criticisms I had for that game was that I didn't feel like the pot thing
had anything to do with the
thing. And I feel like I could make the same criticism here, whereas like it's about healing, but I'm going around in a shmup. And I'm trying to figure out why this one I liked, or at least didn't shit me.
Because this was a fun game.
And maybe that's it, because the whole package here was just generally pretty enjoyable for me. I mean, Anais loved it the most.
Yes.
But there still had this discrepancy between these core mechanics and things.
It's a basic action RPG, and then with a little shmup thrown in, but it really has nothing to do with the thing.
I think also I had pretty low expectations coming in, and so when I was like,
Anais, how low were your expectations?
Pretty low.
Did it help?
Yeah, it was better than what I was expecting.
That's my favourite question. Alright, generally about...
I'm going to give it 2 ducks.
2 ducks. That's a throwback to something that no one will ever see. Okay, great. I think the game's worth your time for a bit of fun, and sort of size-wise, it doesn't outlive its welcome.
Yeah, you mentioned that there's a sequel coming.
Yeah, and
more of it.
when there's the screenshots for the sequel are out, and like there's a big boss in the middle, and he's got like hands that are on the corners, which are really just independent enemies that will attack. I'm like looking at it going, sure, the enemy design's slightly more interesting, but it just looks like more of what I've done.
Same art style.
Exact same art style as well. And like when we were talking about you have to win the game, and then Super you have to win the game, which unfortunately was a little bit too long and outside its welcome, but at least it tried to then take it to a different direction, take some different influences.
So yeah, because you have to win the game was more just going for that kind of classic PC-ish platformer.
Yeah, PC NES-ish platformer, and then the sequel was SNES-ish.
Yeah.
Which, what was interesting, and like, but this is just going to give us more of this, and I don't know if there's any more I want, unless it took more focus on creating interesting combinations of creature designs for battles.
See, I think I'd be happy if actually keep it about this scope, but flesh out the amount of discoverability. So yeah, what if I don't heal everyone? What does that mean? Give me this thing that I can kind of play again and again and again, and just get a little bit different experience.
That could be more, even with the combat the same, if you could affect the world a little bit more. Because there's one path in here which can basically just block off one part of the game to you. Well, if you made it so there was a bit of that, lots of reason to replay an hour-long game. Yeah. Anyway, I think that sort of sums up. Sorry, we didn't rush it. Actually, we had a bunch of discussion that had nothing to do with what we had first time.
Yeah, in fact, this is more succeint.
Yeah,
like
we should always record GamePod twice.
Yeah.
What do you think, Anais? Yeah. Tired, Anais?
Yeah.
Should we do it a third time?
No, good.
Oh, did you hit record, Paul?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, no, I hit delete.
Okay, so that is Princess Remedy. You can grab that on Steam.
For free!
Speaking of games that are for free on Steam, next week's Game Club, which is a slightly older game, although it looks a lot newer than that game, Alien Swarm, which Valve released a good number of years ago, a 4-player co-op, top-down, alien fighting game with strong team-based mechanics. I remembered really enjoying it, but it never really set the world on fire. So let's find out why. Or if everyone was just dumb.
We might need a fourth.
It could be you. Point it, Oh.
You. We want you.
For the audio listeners, we all just pointed at the camera in a very successful and entertaining gimmick. Anyway, so play that. In fact, maybe you can play along with us if you're so inclined. Drop us any comments you have.
Let us know what you think about Princess Remedy.
And you know what? Because we've got the weird recording studio situation at the moment, we don't know what day what's happening really. Even if you miss when we record, we'll talk about it the next week if you really want. We can do that.
Yeah.
We can do it on our third record of the Game Club. With Anais passed out on the table, wishing she was dead. We revive her with pixel art sniffing salts. It disgusts her right to her core.
The pixels that get jaggy on your nose.
Yeah.
They do. Okay, thank you for watching Game Club. Join us again next week where we'll be playing Alien Swarm. And of course, tune into our regular show. See you all later, everyone.
See you, everyone.
Bye.